Let's look at this first example. I'm not sure, I haven't done this live in a very long time, and I hope not the Zoom thingy is going to mess up this live. But let's look at this first example. Some of you guys are busy with this at school. If you can hear me, just double tap the screen or just give me a thumbs up. Okay, so let's look at this first example. We are asked to find the value of A, and this is geometry, okay? And this section is based on angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees, and that is the only theorem that we're going to apply on the next few examples. So if you, and by the way, this is going to be the only session that's going to be in English that we're going to do for this year. I can't promise that I'm going to do it again tomorrow or for the rest of the year, but obviously when we're going to do a revision, there is going to be maybe 1 or 2 examples, but this is the only time that you're going to see a bunch of examples. So here the question is, what is the value of A? And the first thing obviously that you need to know is, like I said, angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So that means if I write it down mathematically, it's going to be A, this angle A here, plus this 63 degrees, which is everything is on the straight line. And like I said, angles on a straight line equal to 180 degrees. The reason for that is, like I said, angles on a straight line is 180 degrees, and that's going to be your reason. Apologies for my handwriting, but I'm standing in a very awkward way. That's why the handwriting looks like this. Obviously for this section you will need to know how to simplify algebraic fractions, equations, expressions. Okay, so here we want to solve A, so that means I want everything else on the right side except for this unknown variable, because we are asked to calculate this. So it's going to be A is equal to 180 degrees minus 63. So that means my A value is going to be 117 degrees, and this here is your final answer. If you have any questions, you can ask now, because when I remove this is a whiteboard. If I remove this, you won't see it again, okay? Okay, so let's look at the next example. Let me just see. Just remove this. This is X, this is 29 degrees, and this is a 90-degree angle. So obviously you have to know that this symbol, or this, indicates that this is a 90-degree angle. So let's look at how we're going to attack this one. Here we are asked to calculate the variable of the unknown, which is X. And how do we get that? We need to know that angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees, and that's the only theorem that you're going to use. So that means X, this X, plus this 29 degrees plus this 90-degree angle here is equal to 180 degrees. And the reason for that, like I said, I'm going to write it here because I don't want to squash it in there. So I'm going to write it here. The reason for that is angles on a straight line is 180 degrees. That's why I did that. So like I said, you will have to know how to simplify equations. Here we're looking for this value here. So that's what we're going to have on the left side. So that means everything else is going to be on the other side. So what I'm going to do is also I'm going to add this and this. So that's going to add up to 100, that's going to add up to 119. So it's going to be 180 degrees minus 119 degrees. So that means your x value is going to be equal to 61. And this here is your final answer. If you have any questions, let me know, because when I remove this, you won't see it again. Okay, so let me just run through this example one more time. We are asked to calculate the value of x. So first thing, obviously, that you need to know is all the angles on a straight line. If you add them, it should be equal to 180 degrees, according to the theorem. So here we have x plus the 29 plus the 90, we get 180 degrees. And just remember, whenever you do, this is the problem that I've seen in grade 12. When they do something, this is the trick. When you do something, there must be a reason. Why do you brush your teeth? Because you don't want it to rot. Here we are saying we are adding this, and the reason for that is because all the angles on a straight line is equal to 180. So that means I only want the x value, and all the other stuff this here is going to be on the right side. So as you can see, what I did was I added this together, so that's going to be 119, and I'm going to subtract 119 from both sides. So that's why I have 180 minus 119, and I get my x is equal to 61. Let's look at our third example. This was example number 2. This is 2y. This is 48 degrees. This is 52 degrees. And we ask here, what is the value of y? Okay, this is a y here. First thing, obviously, like I said in all the examples, this is example number 3. Let me just put here example number 3. And all the examples is going to be exactly the same theorem, which is all the angles on a straight line should equal to 180 degrees. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So let's write it down mathematically. So it's 2y plus the 48 degrees plus the 52 degrees. That's equal to 180. Who said so? Not me, the math says so, okay? The math say all the angles on a straight line is equal to 180. Why do you wash your face? Because you don't want your face to look dirty. So there's a reason behind why you're washing your face, okay? So here there's a reason why I did this. And the reason for that is angles on a straight line is 180 degrees. That's why I did that. So that means I only want the y on the left side. So that means this 48 and that 52 must be on that side. Okay, so I'm going to write that step down. So it's going to be 2y is equal to 180 degrees minus the 48 degrees minus the 52. So that means my 2y is going to be 80 degrees, because 180 minus 48 minus 52 is going to give me this. So that means my y value is going to be equal to 40 degrees. And this here is your final answer. Okay, if you have any questions, for those who just have joined, please do me a favor, just double tap the screen, because this is going to be the only time that I'm going to do the geometry. This is grade 8 geometry. If you have any questions, just let me know. Let me just see. Okay, no questions yet. Let's move on to the next example. There's only about 8 examples, I think. Okay, and the session is only going to be like 45 minutes, maximum 1 hour. Okay, so this is example number 4. Okay, this is x, 3x, and 2x. And this is A, C, B. And this is D, and this is E. Okay, this one have 2 questions. The first question is, what is the value of x? Okay, that's 4.1. So I'm going to do it here, 4.1. Right, what is the value of x? What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you like maybe 5-10 seconds, I'm not sure, give you a head start so that you can pick up your pen and do this on paper as well, instead of just watching, because it's going to get really boring. If you have your answer, you can comment your answer. Okay, so let's see what the value of x is going to be. Hopefully I have enough space to do all of the stuff that I want to do. If not, I will have to erase it. But if you have questions, let me know. Okay, so like I said, all the theorems, all the questions that we're going to do or answer is going to be based on one theorem. And that theorem is all the angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So let's write that down mathematically. So it's say x, which is that x, plus the 3x plus the 2x is equal to 180 degrees. Why did I do that? Why did you brush your teeth this morning? Because you don't want it to rot and all the negative things due to the causes of not brushing your teeth. And the reason behind this is all the angles is on a straight line is equal to 180. And you need to write it down because you need to get marks for that. So angles on straight line is 180 degrees. Okay, that's going to be your reason. So now I need to add up all the like terms, which is x plus 3x is 4x plus that one is 6x. So 6x is equal to 180 degrees. Now I need to solve for x. So that means my x value is going to be equal to 30 degrees. And this here is your final answer. Who got 30 degrees for this one? The next question asks us to determine the value of angle CB. So let me write it down here. So they ask us in this question, what is the value of angle CB? P. So in other words, this angle here, what is the value of that angle? So what do we know about ECB? It is given as 2x. So ECB is equal to 2x. Oops. X. But what is the value of x according to 4.1? It is equal to 30. So that means instead of 2x, I'm going to have now equal to, 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 30 degrees is equal to 60 degrees. And that is your final answer. I'm putting my hand through the tripod here. That's why I'm writing a little bit messy there. Tripod's legs. This is my hand through the tripod's legs. Just in case you're wondering, why did I struggle to write like this? Okay, so let's look at the next example. This is example number 4. See this. Okay, let's see. $70 degrees, this is 80 degrees, this is M plus 10 degrees, and this is P, Q, R, and this is T, and this is S. And the first question, question number 1, is where they want us. This is question number 5, by the way, for those who have just joined us. This is question 5.1. They ask us what is the value of M. So what is the value of M? So for those who have just joined us, remember all the questions that we're going to answer now is based on one theorem, and that theorem say angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. That means this one plus that one plus that one, those are angles, and if we add them together we should get 180 degrees. That's a mouthful, but let's write it down mathematically. So 70 degrees plus 80 degrees plus M plus 10, which is that one, is equal to 180. Why did I do that? Because the theorem say all the angles on the straight line is 180 degrees. That's what the theorem say. It's important to write it down because you're going to get a mark in the exams here. You're going to get a mark and there. So that's why you actually want to write that down. Okay, now it's much more easier to solve for M. So I'm going to add this together because it's like terms, and in the same step I'm going to put these digits on that side. Okay, so 70 plus 80 is 140, plus that it's going to give us 150, plus that it's going to be 160. So M, which is that M, is equal to this 180 minus this. If we add it together we're going to get 160 degrees. So that means my M is equal to 20 degrees, and this here is your final answer. Okay. If you've just joined me, make sure that you share this live and double tap the screen. In this way, more students will see that we're busy with geometry of straight lines. So the next question that we're going to get, 5.2, they ask us what is the value of SQR. Okay, they want to know what is the value of this angle here, SQR. Now, according to this diagram, SQR, which is this angle here, is equal to M plus 10 degrees. But what do we know about M? We already calculated M. M is equal to 20 degrees. So instead of M, I'm going to have now 20 plus 10, which is equal to 30 degrees. So that means M is equal to 30 degrees, and this here is your final answer. Okay, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Because if I remove it, we won't see it again. Okay, that was question 5, 5.1, 5.2. Okay, let's look at question number 6. I'm going to be a little bit lazy now. I'm just going to remove that. And this. And yeah, and these obviously. And this. And that. And that. Okay. And this is question number 6. And here we have x plus 30 degrees. This is x plus 40 degrees. This is 2x plus 10 degrees. And the first question, 6.1, they ask us to calculate the value of x. Calculate the value of x. So now you can see all these angles is on a straight line. Wait, the other thing I forgot now is this. This is D, this is E, this is F, this is G, and this is H. And the question is, what is the value of x? What is the value of x? As you can see, all these angles is on a straight line, and one of the theorems states that all the angles, the sum of the angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So let's write that down mathematically. So it's x plus 30 degrees, which is this one, plus this one, x plus 40 degrees, plus this one, 2x plus 10 is equal to 180 degrees. Now, I did it on purpose. These plus symbols is a little bit bigger because I want you to see that I'm actually adding this one to that one to that one, okay? You don't have to write it like that. I'm sure it'd have a different meaning, these bigger plus symbols. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add up the like terms before I simplify it, solve the x value. So get the x value. So that means x plus x is 2x plus this one is 4x. So that's going to be 4x. And then it's 30 plus that is 70 plus that one is 80. So it's 80 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Now I need to solve for x. That means I only want x on the left side and everything else on the right side. Then that means I'm going to get 4x is equal to 180 degrees minus the 80 degrees. That means I'm going to get 4x is equal to 100. So that means now my x value is equal to 25, and this here is your final answer. If you have any questions, just let me know. Double tap the screen if you got the answer, or just give me a thumbs up, okay? If you have any questions here, you need to let me know now, because if I remove it, then It's a whiteboard, okay? Can't come back. So the final question, question 6.2. 6.2, they want us to calculate the value of H angle E if. Okay, they want us to calculate the value of that. So they ask us, what is the value of this angle here? This angle H E if. H angle E if. Okay, that's the meaning of that. So as you can see, it's given that this angle is equal to 2x plus 10. So it's going to be 2x plus 10. Just putting my charger here. Okay. But according to the previous problem, we already solved for x, which was equal to 25. So instead of x, now I'm going to substitute 25 degrees. So it's going to be 2 open bracket 25 degrees plus 10. So this is 50 plus 10 is 60 degrees. So that angle there is going to be equal to 60 degrees. And this here is your final answer. Okay, for those who have just joined, we are doing, I think this is my very first live session probably for this year. That's probably my second one for this year, okay? But last year, in the past, I used to do it on a regular basis, but, you know, we can't make promises. It was load shedding. Now my life is a little bit busier. Okay, so let's move on to our second last example. Yeah, so second last one. Let me see. Gonna be lazy again. I'm gonna remove all of this. And then going to remove this here. And that, and that, and that. Okay. Before I forget, let me first write this: X, Y, Z, T, P. This is the angle 2K. And they say that this angle here is equal to that one. That's the meaning of these when they do something like that. Okay, when they say this indicate that this is equal to that angle. They don't now. What does that mean? If this is 2K, this is 2K. If this is 60, this is also 60. If this is 20, this is also 20. Okay, so it actually means that this one is equivalent to that one. And this one here in the middle is K plus 65 degrees. And the question is obviously the first one is question number 7, by the way. For those who have just joined us, 7.1, they ask us, what is the value of K? Okay, what is the value of K? So this K and that K is exactly the same thing. It's not different K, okay? That's the first question. So we're going to apply the same theorem that we've been doing for the previous 6 examples, where it say the angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So let's write it down mathematically. So 2K plus K plus 65 degrees plus, what is the value of this one? It is also 2K, because this here indicated, these two curved lines indicated that this is equal to that. So 2K is equal to 180 degrees. Who said so? The theorem of straight lines. What does it say? All the angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So angles on straight line is 180 degrees. Okay, that's what the theorem say. So first thing, obviously, you will need to, like I said in my previous examples, all of them, you will need to know how to add like terms, your basic algebra. Okay, so this and this is like terms, so that's going to be 5k equal to there's only this one, so what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put it on that side, so it's going to be 180, or write it on that side, minus 65 degrees. This is 5, right? 65 degrees, so that means 5k is equal to 115. So that means k is equal to 23 degrees, and that's your final answer. If you have any questions or you're a little bit confused somewhere, just let me know before I remove this, or before I move on to the next question. When I remove it, there's no way we're going to get back to that question by seeing it again. That's what I mean when I say that. Okay, let's move on to the following question that asks us to 7.2. It's of the asks us what is the value of, no, let me just remove this, 7, hopefully you can see this, guys. 7.2, what is the value of t angle yp? Okay, they want to calculate the value of this angle here. Now, the numerical value, in other words. So you can see that this angle is equal to that one. It was 2k, so it's equal to 2k. But this is not your final answer. Okay, you will get maybe 1 mark here. You'll get 1 mark here. Okay, but that's not your final answer, because in the previous question you calculated the k value, which was 23. So it's going to be 2 open bracket 23 degrees. So that means your final answer is going to be not 48, it's going to be 46 degrees, and this here is your final answer. Okay, if there's something that's confusing, just let me know so that I can repeat it before I erase this whole question. This is going to be our second last question. I'm going to move on to the final one. For those who have just joined, I'm going to try my best to do this on a weekly basis. I can't promise you that it's going to be every day, because every day for me is different. But I do have other platforms where you can see this. I've got 3 Facebook accounts. One is personal and 2 is business. One is, you don't want to be on that one. There's about 12,000 followers there, but there's a small Facebook account that's only based on education that you can check out. And then there is, so it's my personal, which is my name and my surname. And then there's the one that's just my name, which have about 12,000. There's random grown-up stuff on that one. And then there's one with my name and my surname with a blue background. That is my, that's the educational one. And then obviously this TikTok account is just educational. And then my YouTube account, it's also just math stuff, educational. That's also on YouTube. Obviously, it's my name and my surname. I only have one YouTube account. Okay, let's move on to our final question. Let's see. I'm just gonna remove. And all of this. Let's look a little bit messy now. It is our final one. Question 8. What? Gosh. Okay, they say this is 2p minus 55 degrees. This one is 3p, and this one is 70 degrees. And before I forget again, I always forget about these things. J, K, L, R, and U. The first question is determine the value of P. Question 8.1. Determine the value of P. And remember, this P is the same as that P. It's not a different P. Yes, this is 2P and this is 3P. But P and that P is the same. The P here is the P that is going to change this angle. Okay, so finally, our last one, we're going to use for the final time in this live session the theorem that say angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees, and that's exactly what I'm going to apply here. And remember, whenever you do something in geometry, okay, you must include a reason. Most of the times, basically all the time, okay. So this angle, which is 2p minus 55 degrees plus this 3p plus 70 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Why did I do that? Because there's a theorem that say angles on a straight line is 180 degrees. Okay, that's the reason. Now I'm going to add up the like terms, which is this one here and that one. That's going to give us 5p, so let's write it down. So it's 5p and this here plus the minus 55 plus 70 is going to give us minus, not minus, but plus 15 degrees is equal to 180. Now you don't have to write the reason for that because you already have the reason there. If you're going to write it again, it won't be wrong, but we won't get marks. This is where you're going to score your marks, here and there because you simplify that. Now you are trying to solve for P, so that means 5p is equal to 180 degrees minus 15 degrees, so that means 5p is equal to 165 degrees. So that means my p value is going to be equal to 33 degrees, and this here is your final answer. If you have any questions, so Hongernoster saying blurring. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's the settings of the camera in general, but I think it's clear now. So sometimes it zooms in and out and then it does that blur thing. But if there's anything that you don't understand here, guys, let me know now before I move on to the next question. This is our final question. I'm gonna leave it here for about a minute and see if you have any questions, and then that will be the end of the live. Okay, I'm going to end the live after that. So let's look at the final question, 8.2. They ask us, what is the value of J angle K R? Okay, JKR. They want to know what is the value of this angle here. Now, according to what you see, JKR, this is equal to 2p minus 55. So I'm going to write that down. So it's 2p minus 55 degrees. But what is the value of p? It is equal to 33 because we already calculated that. So instead now of p, I'm going to write 33. So 2, open bracket, 33 minus 55 degrees, and that's 66 minus 11, which is going to be, 66 minus 55 is going to be 11 degrees. And this here is your final answer.